So you're in a personal year 4. This year asks you to really look at your life and ask yourself, do you have the correct foundation to build upon? It's asking you to look at every aspect of your life, at your finances, at your career, at your health, anything that is foundational. It's asking you to look at it and really ask yourself, is it the foundation that is ready to be built on? Or do I need to relay this foundation and really have the discipline to create the life that you really know you deserve to have? In a year 4, this is where legacy is built. So let's dive into what it actually means. If life feels like it's shifting, it's because it is. Every year activates a new personal year cycle in numerology. It's a divine reset that really shapes your next year. In this 9-part series, we're going to be understanding what your personal year cycle is bringing forward for you and what your personal frequency will be this year. So let's dive into your personal year and really understand what your higher self is guiding you into. Hi guys, my name is Heather Ness. I'm an intuitive and a numerologist, and this channel is all about understanding yourself in the deepest way possible, which allows you to understand the world around you in a very deep way. If you're interested in things like numerology, astrology, human design, intuition, Akashic records, all of these amazing magical things, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. It's going to allow you to be notified next time I upload a video. It's also going to help support me in building a collective of people that really want to understand themselves on the deepest way possible. And if that is you, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. If you're enjoying this video, please hit a thumbs up on the video. And share it with someone that you feel should know what the next year's frequency is for them. Also, before we go any further, I want to let you know that if you really want to understand your personal year on a level that is going to allow you to begin to plan out what your next year has ahead for you, you're going to want to pick up one of my personal year planners. It is a 60-page, month-by-month, in-depth understanding of what this personal year is bringing about. It's going to allow you to be able to really plan and take advantage of the energy and the frequency that you happen to be holding this year in the most aligned way. So down in the description, I have added a link that if you'd like to pick up one of these personal year planners, click that link and definitely pick it up. It's going to help you have the most amazing year you've ever had. Also, I have just opened up one-on-one personal, what I call divine numerology numbers reading, and it is a combination between your personal numerology. We look at your numerology, we look at your personal year numerology, and I get 3 messages from the Akashic records, from your soul, from your higher self. And if it's something you're interested in doing, it is a 45-minute one-on-one Zoom reading that if you choose can be recorded. Make sure you click down below. I have a link right there for you to be able to book it. I do want you to know that I have limited availability, so if it is something you are interested in doing, make sure you click that button right now. I would hate for you to miss out on this. And if for some reason all of my spots are taken, it will default into a wait list, and I will notify you by email the moment my calendar opens up. So you'll have the first opportunity to be able to book in. I can't wait to go into this numerology, personal years. I will tell you, when I realized my personal year and what it was almost 3 years ago, it was absolutely crazy how accurate it is on understanding the frequency and energy that you're going to be having that year that you're either looking at or currently in. And if you go back historically and look, it is like eerily accurate. It's quite amazing that our soul chooses this kind of stuff. So now let's dive into what your personal year is. So you're in a year 4. You just came off of a personal year 3, which was a very, at least it should have been, a very fun, joyful, sort of like creative, finding your authentic voice kind of year. And now you're moving into a very structured 4-year energy. And this energy really asks you, now that you know who you are and you know your vision for the future, and you've really found your creative, expressive, authentic voice from your previous year, it is now time to build the foundation of your life so that what you're looking to bring about in the rest of this 9-year cycle can really happen. This is a year where your foundations are asking you to look at them and restructure them or build them or remove certain things that are no longer working. When we talk about your foundations, think of any aspect of your life that is foundational. That could mean your health. This is a year where we may look at, is our health, our emotional health, physical health, is it where we need it to be to really build on the life that we want to have? So that could mean relationships, family relationships, dynamics in relationships, right? These are all different aspects of foundation. 4 energy does rule the health system. So it could be something as simple as you going back to school to do something in the health industry, right? Like be a nurse or a doctor or a psychologist or something that is very like health related, whether it's physical health or mental health. It is also a year that asks you to look at those things for yourself. And so if you find that there are some family dynamics that you need to go through, this might be a year where you get outside help from a psychologist or a counselor to move through those foundational things that you need to build upon. It could also be a year where you are like, I want to begin to build my own foundation of my family, and I want to start with something as simple as saving up to buy my very first home or to save up to expand and get a larger home. It is anything that is structural and foundational. So this is finances. This is a year where we need to look at how we spend, how we save, how we invest, how we move through the energy of money. This is a year that really asks us to look at that. And if we aren't setting ourselves up, or if we aren't in a position for success foundationally when it comes to finances, then it is a year where we begin to restructure those things. This might be a year where you begin to aggressively put together a plan for your finances so you can pay off certain debts, so you can have the life that you want with more freedom. It could be a year where you take more funds than you have before and redirect it into something like the stock market, or even your own business, right? This is a year where you may realize that you've been working for a company doing one specific thing, and that you realize that this is something you could do for yourself in your own company. So this could be a year where you take a chance on yourself and you build the foundation for your future by creating your own business. This is a year that really asks you to look at those foundational things. Such an important year that you happen to be in. It's also a year that asks for deep discipline. You're going to be rewarded with structure and discipline. So this is a year that really asks you to look at those foundations, create structures, create roadmaps, create processes that allow you to really commit and ground into these foundational aspects of your life so that you can have huge success. Like I started off in the beginning, this is legacy energy. Think legacy. Think will last until I'm old, even past me possibly. So this might even be a year where you get your affairs in order and get a family trust and put it together financially that way. Anything that has to do with finances or foundations, structure. This is really what this year is all about. It's a year about stability and long-term planning. Like I said before, you're putting in processes and structures and all of these things so that you can have long-term success. Think long-term. Think what will last beyond right now. This is really what this year is all about. And part of that sometimes is also family. You know, a year 4 does structurally and foundationally, part of our foundation is family and how we interact with family. It could be immediate family, it could be extended family, and you'll find that sometimes you have healing opportunities in a year 4. This is also a year where sometimes we look at taking our relationship to the next level if it's the right kind of relationship. If it's not the right kind of relationship, we might look at communicating what it is that we need in the relationship to make it a foundational, long-term commitment that we could have. And if the other cannot meet us where we need to be, then it may be a year that that foundation is rocked in that relationship and we move on. This is a year that really asks us to really ground into the future that we want and what are the things that we have to do to achieve that and put together a plan to make sure that you can get there. So it's really a practical year. It's about practical processes. It's about all those practical kind of like things that that set us up for success. And if you do your year 4 right, it makes every other year that comes after this so much easier, because you have removed things that no longer serve you. You have put together structures and processes that will help align to what you want. You've begun to invest money in the right way, whether it's in yourself, in your business, in the stock market, in whatever it is, real estate, whatever it is that you want. And you're looking at budgeting and how you spend and making sure that that is aligned for the future that you want. And when you do this, you're going to set up your life in such a beautiful legacy making way. It's really exciting. Some of the shadow that sometimes can pop up in your year 3 is overworking yourself, over committing, overdoing, because this is a year that asks for foundation building. It asks for structure. It asks for steady commitment. Sometimes we can overdo that, especially if this is an energy that we really sort of like relate to. We can get a little too deep into it and almost overexert ourselves in this way. So it's really important that you look at your energy and make sure that it aligns with the life that you want. Part of this is setting up a structure that you can sustain, right? So the shadow of it is to overwork yourself. And the thing you want to look at when we're looking at building structures or building the foundation for the life that we want, part of that is also the pace in which we feel we can continue doing, right? And because this is a very doing kind of energy, it's really important that you don't overdo it to a point of exhaustion. Because remember, the 4 is also related to health and well-being. And those two are really interconnected. The number 4 is really interconnected with productivity, but also with physical and emotional health. And so it helps you find a balance between the two. And so ask yourself, is the structure that you set up right now a structure that you feel you can sustain? Because if it is, and you don't feel that it will burn you out, then you set up the right foundation. If you look at this foundation or this, structure that you've set up for yourself in your year 4, and you ask yourself, is this a foundation or structure that is this the pace that I can continue doing, let's say 5, 10, 15 years from now? If the answer is, I don't know, then you need to relook at this, because part of building structures and foundations that are solid is doing it in a way that is really aligned to the life that you actually want, not the life that you think you should be doing. And this is sort of that energetic pull that you have in the year 4, is you have to learn to blend what it is that I want. Remember, we came off of year 3, which really dived into what it is that I authentically want as myself and what brings me happiness and joy. And now we're in year 4 that asks for structure. Just because you're in year 4 doesn't mean you forget what you did in year 3. The key is you're meant to bring those two together, and that's where the magic happens. So if your goal is to have more time for creative expression, that needs to be in your plan. You need to structure time that is going to allow you to have that creativity in your life, that joy in your life. If your goal is to work 4 days a week and have 3 days off, that needs to be part of your foundation. Whatever it is, even if it feels unrealistic, if it feels unattainable, if it feels like people don't do it, the year 4 is meant to ground into what year 3 was all about. So this is your year to create the foundations and the structure that you need to achieve that thing, that life. And so it doesn't mean to overexert yourself or do too much, commit too much, make this foundation too rigid. It's meant to be your foundation. And that can be as fluid and as structured as you want. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And sometimes we think, financial security means we have to be on this strict budget. Maybe that isn't the way you work. Maybe the way you work is you give yourself some freedom to spend X amount however you want, and the rest of it is more structured. I don't know. The key is you know what you need. And so this is a year that you really need to look at the foundation, and a foundation that you can really continue. Something that makes you happy. One of the other things that you might have in year 4 is a bit of perfectionism. fours are people that want to do it right? When we're in year 4, we want to do it one time and do it right. This isn't time. 4 energy isn't the type of energy that is like just going to do something off of a whim. They're going to be a little more planned, a little more structured. It's going to be done right. So the key with this is when you're in a year 4 is it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't give yourself so much pressure that it stops you from moving forward, right? Sometimes we think things have to be a specific way or else it just won't work. And that's just not true. It can be a different way. It doesn't have to be perfect. Any action towards your goal, any foundation movement that creates the foundation of what you need is going to be aligned for you. So don't put so much pressure on yourself for it to be perfect. Just get it done. Also, in a year 4, you might find that the pace is a little bit slower than what you had last year, right? In year 3, it's a little more fast-paced, fun, exciting, aligned, kind of like spontaneous opportunities come about. And in a year 4, it does slow down a little bit. It asks us to really look at everything foundationally and gives us space and time to realign all of those things. So don't be alarmed if the pace is a bit slower in the year 4. That is absolutely normal and completely expected. Some quick reminders for your year 4 as you're moving through it is that consistency creates progress. It doesn't have to be fast. Your progress doesn't have to be fast. The key in year 4 is to develop this steady, consistent flow of structure of your foundation. So whether it's all you can afford right now is to put $5 away in a savings account, it's okay. It doesn't have to be $500. If all you can afford to do is $5, you put that away every single week or every month, whatever it is you decide. It's the consistency of it that builds over time. If it is you want to create a YouTube channel, then post one video every week. You don't have to do twice a week or every day of the week. Just find some kind of consistency. Remember, consistency builds progress, not speed, right? Think of the tortoise and the hare. This is sort of this energy of it doesn't have to be fast and furious. It can just be slow and steady and you can still win the race. The key is consistency. The second reminder of a year 4 is that you are building right now the life that your future self will be living. How exciting is that? Your future self is counting on you to do the things that you need to do to get yourself to your dream life. And so the key is, like I said before, is consistency. Consistency, slow and steady wins the race. But also remember that what you're doing right now is creating the life you want for your future. And the more you zone in and focus on that you are creating your life for your future life, the dream life that you've always had, it will bring that inspiration and that determination in this year. And the third reminder, which has kind of been like woven throughout this whole message, is that slow progress is still progress. Okay? Remember that. Remember that slow progress is still progress. It doesn't have to be fast. It may not happen fast. Steady wins the race. And to remember to trust the process, right? Trust divine timing, trust the process. 4 energy really asks us to look within and create foundations, right? But also remember that there is a divine element that is at play at the same time. And know that your progress is happening in divine timing. So if it doesn't happen as fast as you want it to, know that that is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Well, I hope you have a beautiful year 4. I just want to send you a ton of love. Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you put a thumbs up on the video and comment 2026 to call in this energy. Also, just a quick reminder, I have opened up my schedule for what I call Divine Numbers Numerology readings. And this is a combination of your numerology and Akashic Records messages from your soul. And I combine it in a 45-minute reading where you can really have guidance in the direction of where your soul is asking you to go. Down below, I also have a link to my personal year planners. It is a 60-page month by month sort of planner that helps you manifest your dreams in the personal year. It also allows you to really harness and cultivate the energy of the year that you happen to be going through. And I just want to send you a ton of love. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.